So last night my wife of 7 years, Jessica, decided to have a chill-out night. After dinner she went to the den to watch me football, soccer and doing some odd jobs I had planned. Next thing I know, she's got the wine out, and has Downer passed out on the couch. I was about to scoop her up when her smartwatch buzzed and a message popped up. Oh, would knock 7 shades of shit out of me. I wondered what the hell that was all about, so I pressed on it, and it I wouldn't say this guy's a close friend, but he's someone I've played 5-a-side with for years, drank with and know. Because during scraps as teens he'd always be the guy holding the jackets while everyone else went at it. So as I say, attached to her wrist and scrolled to the top. As far as I can tell, he contacted her first, unless she deleted something. T-ing that you could outright call cheating. Then I get to last night, and when she's drunk she starts openly begging him. I can't remember the exact words, but she was saying stuff like how much she had always wanted him. How no one that killed me. That she was great at keeping secrets. I tried to scroll on her watch but couldn't find any other message. Just sat in the kitchen in shock until I fell asleep. Then I got up for work around 5:30. When I went to get in my work tea, face it. So I went back in the house, filled it to the top with Coke, and went on a walk down the railway line. We live BS for miles and I've walked about half the length of it. I'm sitting under a railway bridge like a troll right now, just seat fire from a mile away due to the steam coming out of my ears. So what do? I don't want to speak to her. I can't through my heart. I just feel like every bit of love I had for her has evaporated into thin air after reading her begging. If I could, I would never speak to her again. The whole I'm great at keeping secrets was the thing that really got me. Own the rabbit hole I want to go. I don't care if I'm being honest, I'm just done. I've never felt so betrayed and disgusted, not just as a partner but as a person. I loved her so much and thought her personality, and by extension, my stabbing snake, makes me feel like a snake. I feel like a worse person than I was yesterday. The only way I can describe sons from suddenly turns out to be a pedo, a rapist, or just a downright creep. Your entire perception of yourself and what they've said and invested time into a creep. God, I'm rambling nonsense. I apologize. I'm lucky in that our house village and we moved in. The house will be bequeathed to me when they die, but I don't and hopefully won't own it. The problems. And wanted to see out their final days in peace. So, when we do divorce, my soon-to-be ex won't be GNG of just not saying a word and throwing her right out. Also, while walking here, it crossed my mind to get my mate her any old garbage about something being broken with the doors. She won't care what's going on anyway, as long her to come out and look at something in the back. When she comes out, just run back in and lock the door behind know what I'm gonna do. I'm staring at a bottle right now, and my life feels like it has been ripped apart at the seam here. There's also no doubt I wouldn't have caught wind of this at all, so I'll be seeing him very soon. Never mind house to calm down, threw the vodka away. She's been texting me asking where I am since my work van is still in TE, so I got a lift into work. I'll make my move tonight. Update. Thank you to everyone who reached out to me after my written the post and was in a complete mess. 2 dog walkers came over to check on me as I was obviously concerned. One of them said to me was, "Son, the worst thing you can do right now is drink, it'll cause carnage." I have to thank HT. I threw the vodka away, got in touch with a friend, and he said I could come to his place for a while to calm down. A small town of around 1,500 people, and he wasn't too far away. I sat on his couch just trying to calm down. Through Jessica asking where I was and what the hell was up, as my work van was still sitting in the driveway and I was now with the engine. So I got a lift into work, which she seemed to buy as she just texted back saying okay. When my wife thing that had happened and asked his opinion, I also told him not to tell anyone about Tom, as that might get back him later. By that I mean I'll expose what a little rat he is. Knocking him out doesn't help me at all right now. As my wife first. He was being extremely flirty. What the hell is he even playing at messaging my wife in the first place? With two adults conversing with each other. But they hardly knew each other. And it was flirty from the start as far as about, and it's gotten flirty then. So my friend convinced me to try and keep a low profile and see what I could dig up Ling in terms of finding out my options, which I have done today. He took me home around 6 o'clock and I was Han-ji the entire day, and then suddenly stopping knocks it right out of you. So I was extremely tired when I got home. The Sessika was on me right away, asking me all sorts of questions about work. I asked her why she even cared, and she suggested, and something's been up today. She could feel it. I was about to lie, but I was just too tired. I couldn't be there is something up. Last night when I was putting your drunken ass to bed, a message came up on your Smartwatch NG disgusting cheat that I wanted nothing more to do with. Her demeanor went from an arms-crossed person in PLD rats, huh? Begging that little rat for sex, huh? Read it all. She started sobbing, and I just walked away and went upstairs crying still, and the excuses started right away. How she was drunk, vulnerable, had never done anything like anything. She was never going to go through with it. Pretty much everything that everyone on here was saying she would do was try to blame me. She probably knew I would have thrown her right out the door if she had tried that shit. I to a month. Also told her that she was moving to the spare room. I've been pretty much ignoring her ever since. Just say. I don't want to hear it. She slept in the spare room last night, and I haven't spoken to or texted with her at all. Toto work. But my luck's not that good, I suppose. On getting her out though, I was telling my parents what was happening in E Streets. Her and my mother are close, and always have been. We'd have been together 11 years in December. My key adults, that we've been through too much together, and that she didn't actually do anything. It was just words. SLD this screw me here. Do I have no right to ask her to leave if my mother is against it? It's literally gonna be my house leaving. It's probably gonna turn into War of the Roses Part 2. I managed to get myself an appointment with the Devo options. Until then, I'm just gonna ignore my soon-to-be ex-wife, I guess. I know she's probably not gonna admit any R if she was just talking shit to him to get him on her side for an affair. Anyway, sorry about the delay in the update. JUP date. It's now been 20 days since I found out Jessica was trying to cheat on me with Tom, and the situation has Becco in the spare room. But it's clear now she doesn't have any intention of leaving after she got in my mother's ear. I've seen my divorce lawyer multiple times and am now in the process of drawing up a divorce petition and having HT and taken 50% of the balance from our shared account. The atmosphere around the house has been weird to say the frequent, as we both spend the majority of our time in our rooms. I've also intentionally been working late a lot, so ignoring her. But after reading about the 180, I've started implementing that and been civil. If a little cold towards a monster refusing to acknowledge her existence. It was not the right way to behave. And I ended up feeling like, the only time I broke from the 180 was when I walked into the bathroom last week. And she was sitting on the floor by the hof. It was more of a there type hug, than one with much love attached to it. The sad thing is that I'm so suspicious coming in so she could put on a performance. The thing is that probably isn't even true, but this is the sort of shit toxic. She's been crowing about how she'll do anything and everything to save this marriage. Anything to prove to me I don't plan on ever getting one done, wouldn't even know where to start. I just wanted to gauge her reaction. To me, tablet in hand, going on about how inaccurate they are, and that anxiety and nervousness can throw up false aren't even a normal chuckle either. It started as a bit of a cackle, and ended in a childish giggle. It appears she would do a lie detector test, that is. It doesn't even matter anyway. I meant what I said in my original post. Every MOR I read her say those horrible things. I don't see her as my true love anymore, the person I could tell anything to and to be taken out before it stinks the place up. Tom has been the talk of the town since I exposed him to our friend Grow Mongus, and has been completely ostracized. I tried calling him a few times, but he refused to answer, and then spoken to my mother multiple times about this. And during a heated argument, I asked her why she was taking Jessica's she, expecting us to live like roommates, go on like nothing happened. It's ridiculous. She said she has always seen other had a stillborn daughter before I was born, and it has haunted her. So she latched onto Jessica and has done S-bond. The fact that Jessica doesn't have any family and only a few friends who have their own busy lives and families that's unacceptable, especially during a pandemic. She tried to get me to come to a compromise, saying that in TE mentally, and is pushing me to try couples counseling before I throw in the towel. I'm not doing that. The thought, ill. She'll want to do it right as she does every year, and it'll be a complete shit show. My dad, God love him, has Neve air. He's a quiet, proud but timid man, and my mother's word has always been the one that matters in our house. It's not my house, and I have no right to make demands, but it's now a case of my wife or me for my parents. If they come back. Fuck this house. I have to be able to look at myself in the mirror with some semblance of self-respect. My friend has said I can stay with him for a few weeks or so until I get myself sorted. If I do walk out that door in my life, they'll probably see it as me giving up on them, me walking away without trying to at least have a go at broke my heart over me. What will be the logistics of this once I'm gone? Just her staying there herself. My mother and goes off alone. A little more info on the house. My parents let us move in a year after our wedding. It was an pair them at the time. They were always planning on moving out and moving us in. I've spent tens of thousands on it of leaving this all behind, going somewhere new and starting again, but I don't have anywhere else to go. I've lived in siege here. I'm literally ready to cut my parents out of my life, but I feel so torn. Why am I the one who has to lose every you make your own luck, and that good things happen to good people? Maybe I'm not as good as I think I am. I no longer call that house home. I saw on the calendar that Jessica had a hospital appointment with her that as an opportunity to get my stuff together and move out, which I have. After getting my things moved and sort divorce papers I received from the lawyer last week, and was on my way. I've blocked both Jessica's, and my mother will be done through my lawyer. In terms of my living situation, I'm staying with a friend for a week or two, but haven't spoken to my parents in a few weeks. The last time we spoke was via text, and I tried to tell my mother in exply why it hurt me so much, and why I didn't think it was her first time doing it with the whole. I'm good at keeping secret. Texted back saying she couldn't speak to me when I was like this and she would let me cool off. She tried to call me since today I have blocked her number. I feel so let down by my parents. And at this point it almost feels worse right now. I don't think I'll ever speak to them again. I think in times of strife you look to your family to be strong for My parents have been weak. They've made me feel like the one in the wrong. Like I'm overreacting, and it's me that to move mountains for me. Just move my cheating wife out of the house, and they made their choice. My father also up for me, but he didn't. You make your choices. And you live with them, I guess. Reading some of the comments on Threw in the Towel so easily, I was looking for a way out, and didn't love Jessica because I didn't try hard enough to say yon on this earth. And I was broken when I discovered what she was doing. I think we all have boundaries, and once I read those horrible texts, something changed inside of me. I fell out of love with her, like being snapped out of the inevitable. I have to say that I'm interested in the whole dynamic of their relationship now that I'm gone. RM has finished their relationship with their son. As for me, I'd love to travel. Jessica hated flying, so most of our holiday ended Cornwall and Devon. So it would be great to travel abroad again. The last time I was abroad was when I was 24 of America. So once this pandemic calms down, I've definitely got my sights on the States. Update, it's been over. Was it for me, as I didn't need any more advice. I had made my decisions and done what I said I would, but I walking away from my house that was to be left to me by my parents, and severed my relationship with them as and my life as I had no interest in reconciling. My mother tried to keep us together and thought she was seeing us to them since until this morning. I have moved 15 miles away, changed my phone number, and I'm still in the process from my divorce lawyer to cooperate, which has hindered things. We're now in the process of putting in an applica orts, and if she continues to ignore, then I can proceed with the divorce without her input. Well, this morning while Dad was trying to get in touch as my mother is not well. And would it be okay if he gave him my number? I said, okay Lee, but not great. Obviously I was shocked as I've not heard my dad's voice for so long. It was also the most emotional. So would I meet him at the hospital tonight and go in and see her with him? I said okay. And I've arranged to meet, couldn't concentrate, and I'm climbing the walls here. Wondering if I've made the right decision. Wondering if I'm Abu Om. I've never felt so nervous in my life. And the lack of control I have over the situation has sent my mind spiraling in a burning building blindfolded with no idea where the exits are. Why does she want to speak to me now? Has she while in there? I find that unlikely. Will Jessica be there? I have no interest in ever seeing her again. I'm still angry Abo heating wife's side over mine. I've been going back and forth in my head about going at all. But I will go. I was also one instead, but I'm not sure if she would do that or even if she's well enough. I feel like the bad guy here and that I am his. Any advice would be appreciated. Update, sorry about the late update. I've spent the last few days trying to dodge hospital on Wednesday night after much toing and froing. I was genuinely about to back out at the last minute as I wouldn't forgive myself if I didn't go and something happened. When I drove into the hospital parking lot, I had this Essica to jump out from behind a bush or something. I met my dad at the entrance and it was pretty awkward as way shape or form, then I am turning around and leaving. He assured me she wasn't, and we made our way to as she looked like she had been in the wars. Never have I seen her look so frail. She's got an extreme black eye in her face. She took a serious fall, broke 2 ribs, shattered her elbow and banged one side of her head face on the ground but perked up when she saw me. She told me how much she's missed me and that she wasn't sure she'd ever see old have done it. We spoke for a bit about what exactly had happened, how she was down for a few hours before MD mend bridges with me. I brought up Jessica and that I had been pushing for a divorce, but she was either ignoring the house. Mom admitted she was, and Dad started to look uncomfortable. I just looked away in disgust. Mom start way, I knew then that nothing will change. She's not had an epiphany or seen things from a new perspective. She just always will be, but I told her I don't want it. It means nothing to me anymore, and all it holds are bad memories. I want to get in contact, I will. But don't be waiting by the phone for me to call, as you might be waiting a while. When M and I said I would. Whether that's right or wrong I don't know. Time will tell. When I got home my emotions were I went. Couldn't help but think about Jessica as well, and what she once meant to me. It'll never not hurt. When I thin tea honestly doesn't feel real. The speed at which everything fell apart was just spellbinding. I know life comes at you FAT paying attention. It was just sheer luck I found out about her trying to cheat on me. Cosmic coincidence, nothing Mo W something on her watch, and it tore my life apart. I know now that it wasn't the only time, I know it in my heart. I say she stole the best years of my life. When I think about all the good times, they're just soured. It feels like someone therapist or something to try and let everything out. Or else this will fundamentally change who I am and the way I I think, as I do feel a bit broken inside. The last 6+ months have been the worst of my life, but I'd rather they happen the way it did. But you can't choose the way someone fucks you over, I suppose. You just have to learn character trait, and I see that now. Probably because you don't really know if someone is truly loyal to you until, well, now more than ever, I know how important a trait it is. Update. Firstly, I'm now in the home stretch in terms of divorce. That's left are the formalities. She sent me a message via my dad, where she said she's sorry for not letting me move. She can't, and she has to move on for her own well-being. I thank her for seeing sense. She doesn't want anything can get on her feet, which I'm okay with. In terms of my mother, I haven't spoken to her yet, but my dad said she's some normalcy back. I don't know how things will pan out with them, but I've said that if the house is going to be me security, then we can start trying to build bridges. We'll see how that goes. My biggest battle ahead is in my head, a wonderful yet frightening thing. To give an example, I can still taste the truffles I scoffed, then threw up at my gray again, but I can still taste those things 30 years later when I think about it. What I'm getting at is, I don't want a harbo happen 30 years down the road. I don't want to be one of those older people who's had everything good knocked. They used to be good, kind or funny, but somewhere along the line, they've had experiences that have forever channel that's left is pain. I don't want to be that person. I have to let this pain go before it consumes me. I have started therapy, and it has helped me a lot to speak candidly about everything, if only for a little while. My psychiatrist also saw moaning about how my best years were behind me. She said, "Your best years are the years you've got left." What I mind. But the here and now does, and you can choose to make the most of it or live in a past that isn't real to anyone. When I feel down, I said in one of my previous posts that I wanted to travel, and that is finally happening. My friend New York at the beginning of October for a week. Really looking forward to it. Always wanted to see New York, want this to be just the beginning of my adventures in terms of traveling. I want my latter 30s to be littered with way. All I know is that for the first time in what seems like such a long time, I'm waking up with hope in my heart and what is. Year update. Hello. It's been a year since I posted my story, so I thought it would be fitting to give one last officially divorced. Feels like a weight has been lifted, but also a firm end to what was nearly a third of my life. I was walking into a shop in the town center about a month back, after visiting a friend. She was opening the door too, but I noticed it was her right away, and we made eye contact. She mumbled something that I couldn't make out. I walked inside. As I was walking around the shop, this feeling of utter sadness just enveloped me, and I had to take one look for you to feel straight back to square one. Do I miss her? No, I miss the person I thought she was. But thought her hurt or hardship though. I really don't. I just refuse to move forward any longer with hatred in my heart. The ONL from a friend's girlfriend that she was sure she saw Jessica outside a pub in the city, all over another guy a couple of ren because she wasn't sure it was her and she didn't want to meddle. I'm extremely pissed off with her as I could but I could have confirmed if she was out that night, etc. And it would have saved me a lot of heartache in the long R. Wanted to book a flight to New York in October, apart from wanting to see New York in autumn. Was that the travel ban be only vaccinated travelers. That has now been moved back to November 8th, which has put our plans into limbo. My FR I'm to go, then I'll have to go alone, which is a bit shit since we were both invested in going together. I'm pretty set on things through more thoroughly. One thing this pandemic has consistently been able to do is throw up curveballs off, by hook or by crook. This is just the start of my journey in that regard, remember. I'm struggling when it come thy. I'm just having a difficult time feeling anything, and no matter how hard I try, I don't think that'll change. My dad don't care anymore. That might sound harsh, but it's the truth. I said in my last post that I wanted them to put the hoe. I was just angry at the time, and wanted to assert some dominance at the outset of our conversations. But I really coo in the house from Nightmare on Elm Street then there. It wouldn't change anything anyway. It can't turn back time, you circumvent what they did. It's just the sad consequence of the choices they made. To anyone out there thinking of a dead horse, don't be that person, desperately scrambling to put out fires started by your cheating partner while the thing that's happened, and reading a lot of infidelity support forums in the last year. That you're letting yourself in relevant story. But at the start of the year, I had a really scary experience when I cut the back of my trouser leg on a AMD. It had caused a cut until I went home. And when I went to bed at night, I felt kind of weird. I woke up about 2 a.m. dizzy, and was alternating between a severe fever and chills. I understood right away it could be sepsis, so I phoned as it was a Friday night and at the height of COVID. My thoughts were doing light speed laps around my head while I calmed me down when I was freaking out. I accepted that I was possibly going to die, and then for some reason, I accepting fate state of mind, but when I accepted that it might be over, it took all the permutations out of the equation. About it a lot lately. And when I think about cheating and betrayal, I feel very similar. You have to accept that what yoder such depths and stab you in the back so mercilessly for their own gratification. Fighting that unwinnable battle is terry odds of success. Is it worth it? Is it worth the pain? I don't think so. I understand everyone has their own situation of folly, except that it's over, and things will quickly become clearer. That's just my view. It's only after we've lost Tea Club. It's funny, I haven't written about my thoughts and feelings since I was in high school. I work up roofs for Olivia side that I had pretty much forgotten existed. If something good has come from this fiasco, it's that I'm not going to get things out there and see the bigger picture of my situation. Writing things down has helped me more than I ever. It's just writing to myself in a journal or notepad. I think there are instances in your life when all said and done you see day and could have gone either way. I shudder to think what would have happened had I not reached out for help on at death's door in a ditch somewhere. Or in jail for firing Tom, aka jacket holder, straight through his window frame. It frightens me to think where I'd have ended up if things had gone south. I was not in a good way, and being drunk can cause chaos whatever way you cut it. In the end, I'm just happy I made it out the other side without hurting my doubts of what was happening. However, I think the last few have been more about how I feel towards what has happened. Here's no action on this earth quite like it. Being stabbed in the back by people that you love, In so many ways, it's you and Ken, equally unique. So, cheers for hearing me out. I said in my first post after finding out that I felt like a worse pers happened. I feel like a stronger one too. Thank you for reading my story. I know what I've gotta do now. I've got a key at the tide could bring. Christopher Nolan, Castaway.